Hello, my name is Jeff Foley, and we are standing in near Chillicothe, Missouri, at a site known for the taking of the Old Sow Cannon by the Mormon peoples, October 21st, 1838. It was at this site that Joseph Smith, David Patton, and 100 men came from Adam-on-Diamond and took the Chillicothe Cannon, possessed by William O. Jennings, who eventually, 9 days later, led the raids on Hauns Mill. This is a very sad episode. Neither side enjoys the other, portraying the other as evil, diabolical, and sinister. However, this has happened. My attempts are to try to shine light and understanding on this episode, show that there's another perspective. Not that the perspective's right, but that the perspectives brought upon us death and extermination and expulsion from this state of Missouri, which one day we will shortly again re-inhabit, and hopefully we don't have to repeat history. The Chillicothe militia had secured a cannon from DeWitt, Missouri. Joseph Smith asked that DeWitt, Missouri be evacuated in October of 1838, and William Jennings, the sheriff here in Chillicothe, went to DeWitt and secured the cannon for a cost of $10 a day to protect themselves. I don't know if it was offensively or defensively against the Mormons, but they had felt very fearful and afraid and angry. There were about 3,000 non-Mormons here in Livingston County and about 10 to 15,000 in Caldwell and Daviess County. Some of these records of the Missourians state that the Mormons had told them, again, these are rumors, but these things grew legs, that after they took Daviess County over, they would take Livingston County, which is this county. We are standing 2 miles within Livingston County here. The tragic situation happened, and it was against the law for one militia to cross the county line of another militia. So for the Mormons to come here, we technically broke the law. However, the non-Mormons, Missourians, broke the law also by not respecting that rule of law in turn. There were many episodes of issues on both sides that brought about this pain and suffering. It was about this time of year, on October 21st, that the cannon was taken. And it was taken to Adam-on-Diamond, later toward Far West. Joseph Smith said that he told the mobbers, he said, Sarcel Woods out of Carrollton wrote a letter, and he said the Mormons have stolen the cannon from Livingston County, and we could hear cannon fire. They said they destroyed Buncombe, which is modern-day Knoxville, and they said tomorrow they will go to destroy Richmond. This was an inaccurate and a dishonest perspective, but Sarcel Woods said this because he said a runner had told him that, so it was by word of mouth. However, and that provoked the governor and his extermination order and the expulsion. However, Joseph Smith responded in turn. He said, it's interesting that you mobbers can hear cannon fire at 37 miles. Well, Carrollton from Far West is 37 miles. Buncombe was only 24 miles. And Joseph Smith tells us there that the cannon went from Adam-on-Diamond after it was taken here, and then down to Far West, and then on its way to Crooked River. And later it was shuttled out to Nauvoo. 3 days before Joseph died, the brethren asked him, what do we do with the cannon? He said, hide it in the basement of the Nauvoo temple. The Missourians were angry. They were angry. Boggs had submitted a report to the governor of Illinois that he'd tried to have been assassinated by Orrin Porter Rockwell. This was passed on to a judge in northern Illinois, and the judge told Joseph Smith to, don't worry about it, we'll take care of this. The good old boy system makes people angry on all sides. So the Missourians had feelings of anger and resentment. There had been previously other people that had died, non-Mormon also, not a lot, but the people of this area and this state were afraid and ignorant of our ways, and we were very cliquish. Hopefully we don't have to return to repeat history. And that's why I present this evidence in these videos, to promote a dialogue and an openness so that we can, in the eventual bringing about of peace and a heaven on earth, that we can do so with understanding and kindness and respect for our fellow citizens on planet Earth. I'm gonna bring more evidence and more videos that I will put out, and I will bring a picture of the Old South Cannon shortly and post it so that you can see that and present lots of other things that happened and the different perspective. There were lots of things that the Missourians also did that brought about the tragedy, that brought about the resentment from the Mormons. There's no doubt about that. But the greatest amount of history was written by the Mormons. Joseph Smith asked that reparation letters be sent to the state of Missouri from Nauvoo. About 3,500, I think, were sent, and nothing ever happened. The legislature never took it up. It was their perspective, in my opinion, that they thought that the reparations of war be charged to the Saints of Missouri, and none of their personal belongings or their titles to land were on it. But we know today that if we had deed on a property and we put it in the hands of executors, that if we left, that those executors would need to do and present an accounting, an accurate accounting of what's fair and just. That wasn't done from the perspective of the Mormons. The Missouri legislature never held Boggs responsible. It was an illegal order. He had no right to do it, but the legislature allowed it, and he definitely had no love for the Mormons, which is a very sad thing. On June 25th, 1976, Kit Bond rescinded the extermination order and has great love from the Saints. Also, David Aitchison, as Joseph Smith was taken prisoner at Far West, David Aitchison said that if they killed and executed the leaders of the church, that they would stand trial before an earthly tribunal. So he has great respect to the Saints. One sad episode, when Joseph was surrendered, George Hinkle had been told, he was the Mormon commander, he had been told by Joseph to sue for peace, do whatever it takes to protect the Saints and their lives. He was also told by military commanders of the Missouri militia that if he didn't surrender the leaders, they would kill every man, woman, and child. He was in a pickle. He did not tell Joseph that they were going to Far West to surrender. He told them there would probably be a negotiation, and Joseph sadly never forgave Hinkle. Hinkle even wrote a letter after the death of Joseph and tried to discuss these things, to share his perspective. We all have perspectives, and not always do we see clearly. But as we present and lay the evidence and try to understand all sides, then we have clarity. Then maybe we can have peace. I can tell you, as the previous mayor of this city that led the raids on Hauns Mill, and the citizens, that the people I went to high school with, the descendants of the people who led Hauns Mill massacre, they're good people. They did so because they were fearful and angry. But their defenses go down when we understand and we share that we understand that why some of those things came about. And this is just the beginning of a dialogue that we can begin to share. There will be more evidence and more videos.